Matthew Ronzo. To give you a little background, in July of 2008, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim had the best record in Major League Baseball. This was primarily because of good pitching and defense. What they lacked, however, was a strong bat in their lineup. Before the trade deadline, they acquired Mark Teixeira from the Atlanta Braves. They traded away their first baseman at the time, Casey Kochman, and pitching prospect Stephen Mark. My claim is that this acquisition of Mark Teixeira from the Atlanta Braves during the 2008 season propelled them to win the American League West Division. When the Angels traded for Teixeira, they did so to improve their offense and to keep consistency at first base. Defensively, they added a player who had won 2 Gold Gloves. Now, this award goes to one player of each league that displays the best defensive skills. Casey Kochman, their first baseman at the time, hadn't won any. According to MLB.com, in his 51 games he played for the Los Angeles Angels, he only made 3 errors. This is impressive because, with the exception of the pitcher and the catcher, the first baseman is the most involved on the field. By the end of the season, his fielding percentage was 99.4%. Now, not only did they want to keep consistency and defensively, offensively, they needed a strong bat in the lineup. Now, at the time of the trade, the Angels had the best record in baseball. However, this was primarily because of pitching and defense. According to the New York Times, their offense was ranked 9th in the American League. Also, they were 11th in on-base percentage. Now, on-base percentage is a good stat because it gives you an idea of how many people they have on base. Now, unlike football, defense cannot score points, so unless your offense has people on base, you can't score any runs. According to ESPN, Mark Teixeira, at the time of the trade, when compared to the Angels' first baseman, he led them in runs batted in, doubles, batting average, and slugging percentage. All of these lead to more runs and more offensive production. The slugging percentage, which is one stat I mentioned, is a good measure of how effective or how much of a power hitter you are. Basically what it does is take account the singles, doubles, triples, and home runs that you hit, and divide that by the total number of at-bats. It's a good representation of how effective a player is. Another characteristic that Teixeira brought to the Angels was his ability to switch hit, which means when there's a right-handed pitcher, he bats left-handed. When there's a left-handed pitcher, he bats right-handed. Now this gives a manager a lot of versatility, and it gives him an advantage when they face a strong opposing pitcher like Josh Beckett of the Boston Red Sox. He is able to bat left-handed, so he can pick up the ball easier and is more effective for his team. Throughout the latter part of the season, Teixeira brought power, which the Angels desperately needed. According to MLB, in his 54 games, he had 13 home runs, which was 5th among all players on the team. Now, he only played from June to September for the Angels. The 3 out of the 4 players above him on the list, 3 of them had over 500 at-bats. Now, Teixeira only had less than 200. So you can see that in a shorter amount of at-bats, he had a more effective time at the plate. This helped take pressure off of his other teammates, especially Vladimir Guerrero, who before had been a consistent power hitter. However, with the lack of offense coming out of the other players on the team, people were pitching around him and he wasn't getting pitches. With Teixeira now in the lineup, people had to go after Vladimir Guerrero, which gave him more opportunity to do better. Now, although many people will say that the Angels were already in first place and that Teixeira didn't have that major of an impact, the Angels just had the pitching and defense. And yes, they were in first place, and they continued to be in first place. However, it was Teixeira's defensive skills and his power offensively that helped the Angels win the American League West early. They clinched it early, and it led them to their first 100-win season in franchise history. Thank you.